Woo! How's that, Val? Time's up.
Perfect.
Nice. Hello, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us on twitch.tv/The Trident Network. This is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier. I'm your host, Trent Dozier. Friendly reminder, this is a podcast and also a Twitch stream. If you're on the Twitch stream, you saw me dancing for 25 seconds and then the music ended. And if you're on a podcast, as always, it doesn't make any sense because you can't see what I'm doing anyways, but I can't hear the music. It's a fun little thing we talk about every episode. Anyways, you might have heard her voice earlier, but if you're in the chat, please say what's up to our technical support, our producer, our fearless leader, Val Agnew. Hi, Val. How's it going?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
You know, cruising, feeling good, ready to do some more improv. You know what it is? It's a Thursday, 2 Thursdays after the last Thursday. So that must mean it's time for improv, baby.
That's exactly how I think about it in my head too.
Before we get into it, some of our Twitch viewers, if you are a subscriber to the channel, you can use the Trident Network exclusive Twitch emote, which is the Trident Network mascot, the party dolphin. And we have the ability to throw out some party dolphin claps. Is that right, Val?
That is correct. I just threw them out.
Oh, hell yeah. So if you're subscribed to the Trident Network on Twitch, please do. I believe, Val, correct me if I'm wrong, you can do so for free through your Amazon account if you have one of those.
That is absolutely correct. And I just put the link to the instructions on how to do that.
Oh, very cool. Wow, we're in sync today. Left hand, right hand working in sync. It's beautiful.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. And speaking of teamwork making the dream work, today we have a very special guest. I always, love to get improvisers I love on the show. And this week is no different. I also try to get people I love on this show, which I think I've done a successful job of doing so far. This week is also no different in that. But full disclosure, this week's guest is also the love of my life. She is my partner, and she is in the other room as we're recording this. Please welcome to the screen or to your earbuds or whatever medium you are enjoying I Love Improv across. Please welcome Nia D'Amelio.
Wow. So excited to be here.
Good. I'm glad. Thanks for doing it, Nia. How are you?
Of course. I'm good. We really didn't see each other today very much, so I'm good. Had a good day writing down at my local Starbucks. So yeah.
Yes, the local downtown Burbank Starbucks. If you ever want to catch a sight of celebrity, I don't know if that's the place to go, but you will see Nia D'Amelio.
You'll see me. I'll be there writing away.
Yes. Okay, before we get a suggestion for the improv scene that we're going to see today, two things that I always like to know. First of all, if you are going to give a suggestion, please do so in the chat. Thank you. We love that. We love all suggestions. We will be looking for a suggestion of something not as plain as a water bottle, but something more fruitful, such as Nia is a marathon runner and Trent is handing out water in the middle of the marathon, and they are old friends, and something like that, something with a little more depth than just a single word. So that'll be great. And hopefully, maybe if you do know Nia and myself, you already have some ideas, and you can feel free to throw those in the chat right now. If you don't know us, maybe this conversation will help you, will help inform you about maybe what a suggestion for the two of us would be. Because right now, as we always do, Nia, I'm going to tell you, this week's guest, what I love about your improv.
Amazing.
Great. Nia, obviously I'm in love with you as a human being, but truth be told, I was in love with you as an improviser first. Oh. Yes, Nia and I met at in Chicago, what, 5 years ago now? 5.5 years ago? 6 years? I don't know.
Yeah, like five, like exactly 5 years ago.
Yes. And we met in class at IO. So I saw her do improv before I saw her, like be a human being or whatever. And
That's right.
Nia, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was very confident that you were going to get placed on a team.
Yeah, I mean that was later in our journey,
Yeah, but I
but
knew.
but yes, we met at IO, and the end of the rainbow at IO was being placed on a Herald team, and he was confident. We were both in the same 5B class, and he was confident that we would both get placed. And I was like, how do you have this internal confidence? I don't even think I'm going to get placed. But part of me did think that I was going to get placed because of a conversation I'd had with former commission member Matt Higbee the level before. So, and he was on the commission, and I was like, I know he likes me, so maybe he'll put me on a team. And he did.
And it, it came true. We got placed on the same team, and all of this fun to reminisce about. But baby, IO don't exist no more. So it turns out none of it mattered.
Yeah, it never mattered anyway. It didn't even matter when it mattered.
That's true. But back to you, Nia. Back to you on an improvisational level.
Why'd you think I was gonna get a team?
Well, flat out, you're good at improv. You're a good listener. You're a good teammate. You absorb what's being given to you instead of coming in with your pre-planned ideas and whatnot. I think you're very adaptable on stage. And this is one of my favorite qualities in improvisers is the ability to toggle the line between playing real and playing ridiculous. And I think you do a great job of sitting in a scene and being a real person. And you also do a great job of, for example, a real thing that happened, actually spitting on stage in the middle of a show.
I did spit. That was one of the last shows I did, was for Trent's midnight show at IO. Somebody came in as a doctor. I think former guest Matt Rorty came in as a doctor and said that I was over salivating, and then I just drooled all over the floor.
It was gross, but it was great.
That was really the peak of my career. So
yeah. Well, how do you feel about all that? Do you agree with my assessment of you as an improviser?
I think I do agree. I definitely am a sponge in real life as well. I am an observer.
I can confirm.
Yeah, I like, we've seen a lot of our friends just this past month, like somebody new here has been here every weekend, and I have been exhausted because I've had to put a lot of energy out, and I usually really thrive on energy in. I'm extremely analytical. I appreciate that you say that I am adaptable and I don't need to come in with my own ideas, because that is something, as you know, I struggle with greatly. And I struggled with while I was actively performing. So I appreciate that I'm able to do that well, even though I'm not confident in that ability. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I do. I feel like my best improv, which speaks to your point about me being able to be real but also goofy, is like obviously when I drooled on stage, but also like anytime I'm drunk in a scene is that is the funniest I've ever been. I'm so good at playing a drunk person. And I think that's because it is real, but it's like a category of person where you're allowed to be silly and it's real, if that makes sense. So it's like the perfect combination of those two things.
Well, another specific thing that I think you do well, like in terms of like playing a drunk person, I guess another character that I think you do well is probably due to your 3 years of working in a daycare. But I feel like you play a parent to a child well, or you also you also play children much more believably than a majority of improvisers.
And Nat, I think I've said this to you. I've definitely said it to you before, and I think I've said it to Val too. In level 3 at IO, I sat in on Ryan Archibald's class once, and he told me to never play children, and I didn't do that for like a year. And then I realized, like you said, my entire job was children, and so my whole life revolved around toddlers. And I was like, it's just so funny. Like watching parents scramble is like horrible when you're in the moment, but like being able to step outside and just, think about, I do love playing like an upset parent or a kid. Like kids are so funny, and like they're really, I think people don't play kids well because they think kids are stupid, and they're not.
They're not.
My career as an educator was mostly with infants and toddlers, and so I mean some of my babies would throw tantrums before they were even 1, and I knew they were just doing it to get a rise out of me. It wasn't because they were upset, and like they're very smart, and so yeah, I thank you for saying that I play children well. F you, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay, well, with all that being said, we will now take a suggestion for a scene between me and Nia. If you could throw that into the chat, that would be great. And if no one's got anything, we'll default to Val, which we've done before. And baby, we're not afraid to do it again. Now, I know there is like, what, Val, like a 25-second or so delay between what we're saying now and what everyone's hearing in the stream. So we can wait. We'll give about 10 or 20 seconds of filler time here. See if some hot little suggestions come in. Or you can always take this time to subscribe to the Trident Network Twitch channel, which you are currently watching. Yesterday, the Elevator Showcase had a hype train going on. That's a great show that is every Wednesday at this time, which would be 8 Central, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, I believe. Is that correct, Val?
That is accurate.
Well, they had a hype train, and that's pretty cool. So maybe we can get a hype train going one of these days. Okay, Val, any suggestions?
Well, based on this conversation, I would like to give you the following suggestion because we do not have one in the chat.
So it goes.
Nia is your child. And you are attempting to build a TikTok fandom from Nia's special skill, which I will leave up to you.
Okay.
Can I ask questions, or do we just go?
You can ask a question.
I just want to know how old I am, or if that's up to me.
I'll leave that up to you too.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Come on. I have to go. I have to go to bed.
Courtney, just help me.
I don't want to do it again.
Courtney, you can just show me one more time how to do the dance.
Dad.
Just go, Courtney, please just do the dance really quick.
You go around like this, and then you kind of like bend half over and
half over.
Do this with your shoulders.
So I'm like a dolphin emerging from and resubmerging, emerging, resubmerging.
If my friends see this, they all have phones. Okay. All my friends have phones, and they're gonna see this, and it's embarrassing. I don't even know why you need to do the dance if I'm the one doing it. Why do you need to know?
Because I like to, if I'm filming you doing the dance, I can move with the camera, and move with you. So if we're both doing the dance, then it's, do you know what I'm saying? It's like an optical illusion type of deal.
I guess so. Do you know when Mom's coming to pick me up tomorrow?
Is staying here with me that much of a hassle?
No, was just a question. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make me do these TikToks. It's like I want you to be happy. I want you to have your own thing. And, I know some of your, like your friend Gary has a little bit of a following, but that's because he builds stuff, Dad. Like, you should like go to Home Depot or something, like get like, I don't know, like planks of wood or something and just put it together.
Just
Like a
put it
time
together.
lapse. I don't
I can't.
know.
I'm not as handy as Gary. I don't have the same attributes, but I have other attributes like a fun, beautiful daughter. So I think I can definitely, gain a following like Gary did. I don't
Oh,
think it's
it's
that
weird
impressive.
when you say that.
What? You're beautiful.
Ugh.
You're a beautiful young woman. You're fun.
No.
You're fun and beautiful young
Stop.
woman. Me and your mom created a
Dad.
beautiful thing, and it was you, Courtney.
Oh my God, Dad.
What? Why is that embarrassing that I love my daughter?
No, it's not. It's why I love you too.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
You don't need to
I'm
be
sorry.
sorry. You don't need to be sorry about loving me. I know it's been a tough year and a half here. Just trying to get readjusted to everything that's going on, and
That's okay. Mom's made it pretty clear that it's not your fault and that it's hers. So, at least there's that part of it.
Is she still seeing Julio or
Yeah.
she is? She lied right to my face.
Well,
Damn it.
I don't. Well, when did she say? What did she say and when?
Last week when she picked you up from here, I said, "How's the love life?" And she told me, "Todd, don't ask." And so I assumed that meant, we were all clear about Julio. Don't ask, don't tell, and I won't tell.
Yeah, I don't think that's what she meant.
That's what I inferred from the conversation.
Well, as far as I know, she's still seeing Julio, and we're actually supposed to. Well, I don't really know the plans, so don't get mad at me. But I think we might be going on vacation with him and his grandma, who he takes care of.
To where?
Tijuana.
We were supposed to go there, you and me, a father-daughter Tijuana trip. Are you kidding me, Courtney?
It wasn't really my choice. She's from Tijuana, and I guess she wants to see, kind of the sunset for the last time. It was pretty morbid conversation, but I don't know. Let's do the math together, Dad. Julio has got to be what, like 35 plus. He's taking care of his grandmother. She's probably 90.
I hope he's over 35.
No, I don't know how old he is. You probably have a better idea than me.
Well, I've only seen him in like pictures. I haven't seen him in person.
Dad, do you think that you're ever going to date again?
Building a TikTok following is a part of my 4-step process into getting back into the world and dating.
Dad, who do you think you're gonna get on TikTok?
So I don't know.
What are the other steps?
Step 1, new phone. Did that. Perfect. Step 2, download TikTok. Did that. Perfect. Step 3, build a TikTok following. So we're in the middle of step 3 right now. Step 4, date, become happy again.
Your 4-step plan to dating completely revolves around TikTok? Well, I thought the other steps would be like get a Hinge or like Match.com would be a step or something.
Courtney, you see me operating TikTok. You think I could possibly operate any of these dating websites, Bubble or whatever?
Bubble? Dad, I'll make your profile.
You will?
Yeah. As long as I don't have to be on camera, I don't like people to see me.
I know, but I really need a picture to show that I'm a cool guy.
Well, I don't need to be in it, but I can take one of you.
No,
I saw
You
I
need a
saw
slate. You need a slate of pictures, is my understanding. I want a picture of me looking cool, one picture of me looking sexy, one picture of me with daughter,
ew.
one picture of me with dog. So I got to get a dog now that I'm thinking about that. Let me write
Do
those
I have to
down.
be back to back with the sexy pic?
No, no, I'm just saying in general. Honestly, the sexy pic will probably be last, and that's definitely something I can take myself. I've
Ew,
been
no, Dad, don't. No.
what?
This isn't MySpace in 2008, Dad. Don't do that.
Don't MySpace me. I caught the tail end of MySpace. Okay, I know what it was all about then. I'm not doing
that's
anything
what-
weird. I've been taking photography classes on masterclass, so I've actually gotten
Who's the instructor?
some French guy. I just look at the subtitles.
Did you know that did I tell you that me and Courtney B found Mr. Lavin's old MySpace page
What?
in computer class? We were in computer class and he said that he had a MySpace and we looked it up and that's how I know about what the pictures look like then.
Well,
We
you
found
gotta.
it. It's like archived or cached. Is that how you say that word? Cached? Cached? You know what I'm talking
Cached.
about?
I think the word is cached.
It was cached, but we could still scroll through it.
Okay, well, I hope there was nothing inappropriate on there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Dad. Like, I wasn't inappropriate in the sense that it was like bad, like not like gross or whatever. It's just like there was like he had a picture of him with like really baggy jeans and like he didn't have a shirt on and like he had this weird like baseball cap that was backwards, but then like there in the like he took the picture with a camera and the flash was so bright in the mirror that like you couldn't even see his face. It might not have even been him.
Oh, that's cool.
Don't do that.
I think I should have one of those.
No, I'm telling you, don't. Do you even have a camera like that?
Yes,
Are
I
you
told you
gonna
I've been taking a photography class.
But this was like a digital camera. Like you're gonna like use your nice Nikon to take a picture of you in the mirror shirtless.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't know if it's going to be me in the mirror or what I'm going to do, but it's going to be tasteful. It's not going to be like a raunchy sex thing. It's going to be a tasteful. It's going to be a
Dad,
tasteful sex thing.
Stop.
What? I'm I'm a man. I have did your mom or Julio have this conversation with you yet
What conversation?
about sex and the birds and the
Dad,
bees
please.
and the P and the V?
Dad, when the winter comes, Mr. Lavin's computer class will turn into sex ed. So I'm waiting for that.
Is Mr. Lavin the computer teacher and the sex ed teacher?
Yes.
Oh my God, our schools are hurting right now.
Well,
Unbelievable.
go to a school board meeting or whatever.
Oh my God, Courtney, that's actually a really good idea.
Why?
I think me becoming your school sex ed teacher might boost
Dad,
my
what?
confidence.
No.
That's what
Dad,
you
that's
just-
not
That's what you just said.
No,
That is
Dad.
what you just said.
No, I didn't. Dad, listen. You said that our schools are hurting. And
Yes.
that's you go to the school board meeting to find out, like to change it. Like I've seen the videos of like people going there to complain and stuff about like the dumbest shit. And like you could complain. I was not saying that you should be my sex ed. Dad, please, I don't even want to do a TikTok with you. Why would I want you to be my sex ed teacher?
Okay. Message received.
What? Now you're mad at me?
Message received.
Dad, are you kidding me?
Old dad's just a big old dumbass.
Oh my God. Would you want your dad to teach you about the birds and the bees?
My dad did teach me about the birds and the bees.
In
You
front
think-
of all your friends?
No,
Courtney B, Courtney R.
no. I mean, there was a small group of us that got talked to by my dad about the sex, but it was not, in class or anything.
Wait, Grandpa taught a multitude of friends of yours?
Yeah, there was a group of 4 of us, and Grandpa had a talk with the 4 of us about the birds and the bees, and he taught us about all that stuff. And there were diagrams and whatever, and some pictures, and it was a
like
different
after
time.
school or something? Why were the
Yeah, it
other
was
boys there?
It was in the summertime. We were rabble-rousing around one day, yanking on each other's junk and whatnot, and Grandpa pulled us in.
Oh my God!
It wasn't not Courtney. Take your mind out of the gutter. It
oh
wasn't in
my God,
Courtney. It wasn't sexual in nature. It was boys roughhousing.
How was it? How did you hear what you said? Did I mishear what you said?
You try and slap each other in the wiener when you're a young boy. It's what young boys do. Not for pleasure. You're trying to inflict pain on the other person, in fact.
Oh my God. Oh God.
What? Are you saying the young boys at recess aren't running around trying to slap each other in the dong?
Not that I've seen. I don't know.
I think you need to expand your circle of friends a little bit.
Me and the Courtneys are doing just fine. Thanks.
You only know Courtneys, and that's not how you should grow up.
Well, if you'll recall, the name of our town it's Courtney. And lots of people named during our centennial, you included, named their daughters and one son that I know Courtney in celebration. Do you remember that? I do. You've made me watch the video of the local news report about it 1,000,000 times. Courtney, Illinois. That's where we live. It's not my fault that you're a dumbass and named me after your own town.
I'm such a fucking follower. No wonder your mom cheated on me with Julio.
Dad, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I'm a dumbass.
I didn't mean to make this about Julio. I'm still not really sure how I did, but I didn't mean for this to bring up thoughts about Julio. He's fine. He's, I barely even know him. So it's not even like, I don't know. Courtney V says he's cute or whatever, but I don't know.
Courtney V? How many of there are you?
There's 6 of us.
Oh my God.
We were like, this. We were like John and Kate plus 8. Like, and they have the sextuplets. That's like how we got treated when we were little. We were like, go to the town fair and stuff, and they'd be like, there's all the Courtneys, so obviously we're all friends.
John and Kate named all their kids Courtney?
No, there were 6 kids. No, that was not the point I was trying to make.
God, I'm such a fucking dumbass.
Dad, I know I called you that, but I didn't mean it. I just got upset. I'm sorry.
All right. Show me the dance one more time, and then you can go to bed.
Okay. So it's that song by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay. And it goes, let's groove tonight. And then you kind of slow down and bend over halfway. And then you do this with your shoulders as you move toward, well, don't do it so aggressive. kind of focus the movement like on your chest, not your shoulder. Dad, are you okay? Dad, stop. Dad, oh my God, stop. Dad, no. Oh my God.
All right.
Like
night,
from
honey.
your chest.
Okay, I'm going to bed. See you in the morning. Do you want eggs Benedict or something different?
Gee, if you're gonna make me eggs Benedict, yeah, I want eggs Benedict.
All right. That's the scene. Wow. I feel sorry for anybody who's listening to this on a podcast and is missing out on the live dancing that I just displayed.
Oh man, I'm definitely gonna make a GIF out of that. That is.
Oh yeah. Good. Okay, then
Oh
if
my
you're listening to this,
God.
if you're listening to this on a podcast, be on the lookout for the GIF of the dancing that we both just did. Oh,
That's a real trend that's going on right now.
that dance to that song.
Yeah.
That song
Well,
is a TikTok song.
Yeah, I'm sure Val, you know this, and I also know this, and I'm sure this played a role in you giving the suggestion that you gave, Val. But Nia is a big TikTok fan, not necessarily creating, but
No.
she loves following the trends and whatnot.
I do.
As do I. We've talked about this, so yes, I was aware.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of TikTokers, couple of no, that's not it. What's a like a talk head? You're a talking head.
Yeah, we're talk heads, talkers.
Talkers. Boy, that was a lot of fun, Nia. That was a lot of fun. That was one of the longer ones that we've done because
Oh, really?
yeah, I didn't want to stop. I just like you know, I've
How
mentioned
long was it?
It was about 16 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't
Time
feel,
flies.
that was like almost 5 minutes longer than you normally do, and it did not feel longer.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, at least to us, who knows? Maybe people are listening right now being like, oh my God, the improv scene's still going. But I love, you know, we talked a little bit about this with Ariel 2 weeks ago, but like, you know, you and her both have a similar quality. Ariel, someone who you also like to play with, putting words directly into your mouth, but I think it's true.
I've definitely played with her before.
But I feel like you and her have a similar quality where I love to play with both of you because I feel like the content of our scene was ridiculous, but it was fully based in reality with two real people. And so I think, you know, you're, like I said before, you're great at walking that line and, you know, mixing the two. And I think that scene was an example of that and why I let it go longer because I was having fun.
Yeah. It was like, there were definitely points that were crazy. And I also, a quality that you didn't mention, and I don't think it's good, is that I am a breaker. I laugh. I've always laughed on stage. And this set was no exception. Some of it was really funny to me.
Good.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I don't know, just landing on the fact that it was a town of Courtneys. It was like, I'm sure that this happens to both of you when you improvise, but like, it happens to me all the time. Like something will, you know, my mouth moves faster than my brain. And so I heard it come out of my mouth that our town was Courtney. And then I was like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. How can and I tried to backtrack and then I was like, it's gone. It's already gone. So
well,
what can you do?
Well, I think we do exactly what we did, which was, you know, justify it and make it real. Not to bring up Ariel again, but 2 weeks ago when she was on, we talked about this too, where it's kind of the thing of like, do you do the first thing that comes to mind, or are you more patient, filter through a couple things and then say what you need to say? And I always err on the side of first thing that comes to mind is the funniest, and then we can justify it from there. And I think that was true. Calling the town Courtney and then having to justify all the Courtneys exist because, you know, a bunch of Courtneys were born in the centennial. So a bunch of people name their kids that. Like, that's way funnier than being like, you know, well, we live in Skokie and it just so happens there's a bunch of Courtneys, you know?
Yeah. One thing I like about playing with you, Trent, is that you are very good at rolling with my punches like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally, as an improviser, love stuff like that where, you know, because you're in a scene with somebody. So if I say something ridiculous or you say something ridiculous, it's not on the person who said the ridiculous thing to justify it. It then becomes a team effort. And, you know, I love improv with Trent Dozier because I love the collaborative spirit of that, I mean, Nia, you know this, and Val, we were actually talking about this a little bit before the podcast, but I have 3 younger brothers. So I grew up in a house of 4 boys, and I didn't realize this till recently, but you know, we were very much in a house of yes and. Like one of us would do something destructive, and then another one would be like, how can I top that? And you know, it caused a hectic environment for my parents, a lot of anarchy, but that's why in improv I'm so ready and willing to jump on other people's ideas and just be like, sure, I never would have thought of that. That's funny. Also, what if we did this too? And you know, I love to stack.
Yeah, you're a stacker for sure. That's an interesting way to look at it. Every time we're on a family Zoom with Trent's brothers, one of them takes their shirt off and then all of them take their shirts off. And that's just like an example of that exactly what you're describing.
It's called heightening. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish every improv student in America could be on a family Zoom call with the Doziers to see the perfect example of heightening.
Yeah.
It's a masterclass in and of itself.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. Those boys are loose.
Now, Nia, famously, in the middle of the pandemic, or I guess because of the pandemic, you retired from improv.
I did.
And in your
I did, Steve. That's right. Thank you.
And in your promotion for this episode, you put out that I keep pulling you out of retirement. Is that true?
That's right.
Is that true, or maybe do you actually love improv also?
You know it's true. You're you. I have not improvised with anybody but Trent since the pandemic, and that's because I know that he loves improv. And
I do.
And for a while, you know, because we lived together, I was the only person that he could do improv with. But yes, that's true. You are the only one who asks me to improvise. But I feel okay saying yes to you because I know you so well. And the reason that I didn't want to do improv anymore was because of how much anxiety it gave me. And for a lot of like social reasons, but also on stage, like we were talking about before the scene, I was a planner. I used to come out and plan stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Even if it may have seemed like I hadn't planned it. I was planning and plotting on the sidelines. And I knew 3 years into it that was not the way that it should be, and that wasn't the way it should feel. And I thought at the start of my career, I was like, that'll go away. And it never did. And so I was like, you know, people very kindly say that I am good at improv. And I always say, but I was bad at it. I could not, I didn't do it like how you're supposed to do it, which improv is like all about spontaneity. And I could not be spontaneous. Like I was incapable of doing it. So I was like, while I may have pretended like I could do it well, I literally couldn't do it well. But with you, I feel okay because, you know, we live together and, you know, our partners. And so I do lots of crazy things around our house. An improv scene is pretty low on the crazy dial for us, you know? So
do you think that also maybe
that's my philosophy.
Do you think that maybe two-prov
Go ahead, sorry.
helps because it like removes that sideline time?
I think so. I think it definitely does. And I think also when you get taught improv, or at least, well, I only ever went to IO and CIC, but in both of those scenarios, I think the people who teach improv are like, watch the scene so that you can bring, you know, a detail back.
Yeah.
And I like took that so way too far that I was just like not even really listening like I was like listening too closely. Like I was like, oh, the shirt is red. Like I have to remember that, when like you don't need to remember that. Like that's not what, those aren't the things that you need to remember. And so I definitely do think that Tuprov not being able to have that downtime and really like think about what you're saying is super helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It's all reactionary. That's why I love
Mm-hmm.
Tuprov the most. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to sit and question. As I said 2 weeks ago on the episode with Ariel, the longer you give me to think about something, the more mush-mouthed my answer is gonna be. I just gotta
Mm-hmm.
I just have to roll with everything right away and react and then justify later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also will say I stand by what I said at the beginning of the show. I think I am horrible at starting scenes. I love to walk into a scene and then let someone else, like if I'm one of the first two people on stage, I'll let the other person start the scene. And then I
I'm
can
laughing so hard because I've watched so many improv shows with you in it where you just come and just stand there. Like that's 100% true. But even when you're standing there,
yeah.
you give off an energy like you're supposed to be there. Like
Yeah.
no
Yes.
matter what it is, even when it's not established yet, like you're absolutely supposed to be there. That's so funny. Yeah, my I initiate scenes one because I'm nervous, but two, somebody, I think maybe Farrell or Kyle said once to, always start in the middle, and that's always like a good tip for any creative, like if you're
Yes.
writing or like whatever. So that's what I usually try to do. Trent, you know that I usually try to keep it high energy and happy,
Totally.
which wasn't the case in this scene. I started pretty down, but I try to do that really consciously because I see so many negative improv scenes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's mostly out of like total panic that that I'm able to dive right in.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say was you start scenes often, so I think that is the planning part
Yeah.
of your brain or whatever. But you're not the type
Mm-hmm.
of person who is like, if your brain is like, okay, I'm the mom and Trent's my son, and then I walk in and I say, honey, how's dinner? You can easily flip to like, oh, this is my husband. You're not like, oh, very cute, Joshua. You're actually my son, not my husband, you idiot. Here's the premise of the scene I'm setting. You know what I mean? So
Yes, yes.
I think you're much more adaptable in improv in general than you give yourself credit for. I think you were bad at improv because it stressed you out, not because you were actually bad at improv.
I could see a benefit of your planning brain in that you instantly had depth to your character. Like
Yes.
I could tell immediately how old you were, what kind of personality you had, the type of relationship that you had with your dad. It was all very clear within the first like couple lines. And so that is a benefit of having a planner's brain is you can fill in a lot of those gaps like instantly in the background while you're talking.
Thank you. Um, kind words. Yeah, that felt like I think just like I said before, like as long as something that aids me in, having a short amount of time to plan, like right after you get a suggestion is starting emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what the first thing I said to you was, but it was something like, ugh, I was like,
Yeah.
I think I said I have to go to bed. So I was already annoyed, and that like gave me, yeah, I saw it immediately as soon as I decided that that's what it was going to be. Yeah.
Another thing was if we're since there's a lull, another thing I noticed was that you asked a lot of questions, which like on its face, a lot of times we get told in improv class, don't ask questions. But
oh, the rules of improv.
I know. But in this instance, what I noticed about a lot of your questions was they were like informing Trent
Mm-hmm.
in the question and like sort of guiding the scene gently with a question. Like there was one time in particular where you said, "Do you think you'll ever date again?" And it was sort of like a pivot, but it like opened up this whole other like set of possibilities of where this conversation could go, and gave Trent an opportunity to add more depth to himself, because you were talking a lot about like your mom and Julio, and even though on its face you're not supposed to ask a question, that question like turned the scene into a much deeper exploration of Trent's character, which I thought was great.
Yes. Yeah, that I know you've said on this show, the improv rules are made to be broken.
The rules are there so you can break the rules.
I'll say, like, I've never drunk the question Kool-Aid, because the reality of life is that you don't know everything. And I know that you're supposed to, you know, pretend like you do. But I have always been, I think that comes, I think you said something like this at the top, like me wanting to observe or whatever. I'm just like a naturally curious person. So like, I'm not going to pretend to like it's one thing if I would have said, like, in that particular instance, like, well, you know, I think Janine's great, but maybe you should date other people. And then it's like, I don't know. It's just like so declarative. Like, I'm a kid, especially like in this scenario, like, why wouldn't I ask that question? You know? So it's like, I believe in asking questions to guide the scene, because that's how you navigate life.
Agreed. I also thought it was very funny that you know, one of the first questions you asked was, you know, what time is mom picking me up tomorrow? With the obvious implication being that, you know, me and your mother were divorced, which was so funny, because the way the conversation was going, I was like, okay, I got to drop a bomb that me and the mom are getting divorced. Turns out we already were. Yeah. That was going to be my reasoning for setting up a TikTok. Either way, the TikTok was to get chicks, but this was going to be because we were getting divorced. I also thought about using it as a way to like try and win her back. But we never really got there. But that was definitely playing in my mind. But it was very funny when you said that, because I was like, yeah, we're on the same page here. This guy is single.
Well, if you're listening to this and not watching it, then you wouldn't know that when I asked that question, I smacked my mouth afterwards, because I thought it was so funny. Not that like I'm so funny, but it just like is such a funny thing for kids to ask, is like, when's mom coming? Or like, I don't know. My parents are not divorced. So maybe it's not funny to children of divorced parents, but man, I don't know. That dynamic is so funny to me. So interesting that whatever dynamic we were able to establish in the first 5 seconds, both of us went, this guy's divorced. This guy's, so funny.
You know, some guys, that's just the way the cookie crumbles for them, you know?
That's the cookie, as they say.
That's the cookie. Well, Nia, as we wrap up here, any final thoughts? Are you happy you came out of retirement once again to do a little scene for the people?
Anytime I get to talk about myself, I'm thrilled. I'm so vain, and I've said that in multiple public platforms before. So in that sense, I was glad that I got to talk about myself. It is always fun, Trent. It's always fun doing improv with you, because, like I said, I feel very comfortable, and so like I feel like if I was playing with other people, I would be trying to impress them. And then I wouldn't have said that the name of the town that we lived in is also my name, or like, you know, whatever. So I always feel free on stage with you, and it's always fun. I mean, you know, I was laughing. So in that sense, you know, I had a good time. Will I do improv again? Only if you ask me.
And that is not the general you. I think you mean specifically if I ask you.
Yes, correct. Only if you, Trent Dozier, ask me, nobody else. If you're gonna DM me after listening to this episode, I will decline.
Well, I think just the last thing I'll say in regards to breaking, I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
if I've said this on an episode or not, but now that I'm about to say it, I think I have.
You
But
did the Katie Klein thing.
yep,
Yep.
best piece of advice, Katie Klein, incredible Chicago improviser. She said she used to always try to not break, and then she started breaking, and it's way more fun. I think you got to break on stage.
it is.
It shows that you're enjoying yourself, and people want to see people enjoy themselves.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, like, the things that you broke on were the best discoveries in the scene.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a reason. Like, I think that it's sort of an extension of what Katie's saying. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but, like, it's the follow the fun thing, right? Like, your instincts are good. You know what's funny. And if something pops out of your mouth and it makes you laugh, then it was probably the right thing to say, you know? And it, like, adds to the scene. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Follow the fun, trust your instincts. Go ahead, Nia.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, my favorite part of any DVD is the bloopers. I love watching people laugh at stuff that they do. And so when I started doing improv, I loved, like, when I did improv in college, I'd get in trouble. Not in trouble, but like my group would be like, you have to stop laughing.
Boo.
And I'd be like, but it's so funny. Like, some of this stuff is really funny, you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love breaking on stage.
Same.
And you should do it more often.
All right. Well, Nia, thank you for joining us. If you want to hear more from Nia, she has a podcast on the Trident Network.
I do.
Which is something we're a part of. Nia, would you like to tell us a little bit about your podcast real quick?
Yeah, I co-host something called the Tournament Podcast, and I co-host it with Trent.
Surprise!
And we take all kinds of stuff and put it into brackets, usually things that shouldn't be thrown into brackets. But some of our most divisive brackets, just to give you an idea of what we do, have been best pasta shape and best one-hit wonder song. We do movies, like this week we're doing which Austin Powers movie is the best as a little mini tournament. But man, next week's the week to listen for me, because we're talking about the Beach Boys and they're my favorite thing. So.
Congrats
on
listen
getting
to talk about the Beach Boys.
Thanks. It was the highlight of my year. I don't know. It was the best night of my life. We already recorded the episode.
Yeah. Wow. It was fun. The Tourney Pod is sort of a cosmic gumbo, as they say. If you wanna follow the Tournament Podcast, you can do across all social media at the Tourney Pod. And that's Nia's pride and passion right now creatively. So if you want to get more from her creatively, do that. Correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Great. Thanks, Nia. Love ya.
Love ya.
Val, would you like to tell the people a little bit more about subscribing to the Trident Network Twitch?
Yeah, for sure. So you're watching the Trident Network right now. We are 3-pronged, but you're watching our live show prong. As you've gathered, we also have a podcast prong and we have a video prong on YouTube.
Yes.
And you can check all of those out as well. But if you're interested in supporting what we're doing here, one of the easiest ways that you can do that without even leaving the screen is to click the purple button that's actually right below Trent on your screen. And it will give you a bunch of options of how to subscribe. A subscription is just a few dollars for you, or free if you have an Amazon Prime account. And it goes a long way to helping us continue to do what we're doing here and provide this platform for all the amazing people like Trent and Nia who make things on the network.
And Val also amazing, part of the Trident Network. Also, there's the Trident Network Patreon, which is another way to support the Trident Network. That is simply patreon.com/the Trident Network. You can check that out. Donate there. That's also super helpful to all the shows across all the platforms. Also, Val, if you wouldn't mind showing off your sweatshirt. Are you still wearing it? Yeah. The Trident Network merch, baby. It's a great logo. I love logos and stuff like that, and I think the Trident logo personally is sweet. Love it. So go to thetridentnetwork.com and click on support us, I believe, and then there's a link to the merchandise area there. There's some great merch, Trident Network general merch, D-Commentaries merch, which is Val's podcast, which is also great, and Tourney Pod merch. There's a bunch of cool stuff up there. So go there, listen to other podcasts, support the Trident Network. Thank you for tuning in on Twitch. If that's how you found this podcast, thank you for listening in your ears. If that's how you decided to inhale this. And yeah, if you need any information on anything, always check out thetridentnetwork.com. Val, thanks to you as always. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your help. Nia, what's for dinner, huh? What are we gonna do tonight? We doing salmon? We doing tacos? Let's go figure it out. What do you say?
Yeah, let's go figure it out. I think
All
that's
right.
a good idea.
Thank you everybody for joining us now or later. Hope you have a great rest of your day or beginning of your day or whatever's going on in your life. Be well and remember, I love improv.